story of a man called Theseus. His country, well, his city-state technically, was in danger, and he sent himself forward into enemy lines. He slayed the Minotaur and saved his city. You know what they did to him, Tommy? They exiled him. He died in disgrace, despised by his people. That's what happens to heroes, Tommy.
But he saved everyone.
The Greeks knew the score. Thank you, Greek Karma, for the 50. I had to donate because you brought up Greek mythology. Thank you. Thank you. Dude, Greek mythology is actually fun. I took a class on it in college. There's just so much, there's so many memes in ancient mythology. That's my theory, is that myths are just ancient memes that have been passed down through history. And you know, if the story's been passed down for like 3,000 years, it's got to be pretty good at something, you know. It's got to be decent. What are some fun stories? What are some fun stories from mythology? I've forgotten a lot of them. I'm not gonna oh, I remember there was this one time where fun mythology with Technoblade. This is part of the stream now. All right. All right. The chat's all here for the mythology. All right. So there was a big wait, I think it started the War of Troy. There was a big, all the gods were having a big meetup, and they invited literally everyone except Eris, the god of Discord, which, you know, they didn't use Discord back then. They used Skype, of course, so can't invite Eris. And she was not very happy. So she throws this apple. She just chucks this apple into the party, and it says, like, you know, only the hottest goddess can take this apple. And it just rolls directly in between, who was it? It was like Artemis, Athena, whoever was married to Zeus. She's probably very important, and I forgot her name. And they're just like, they just immediately descend into fighting because they have zero emotional maturity at all. And they're like, all right, Zeus, you gotta decide which one of us is the hottest. And Zeus is like, I would never do something, because, you know, Zeus is the god of feminists, and Zeus is like, I would never do something as demeaning as ranking women based on their looks. So you guys should instead. And then he opens up the Greek phone book and he's like, ask Paris, this random guy. Ask Paris, yeah. So they all go like 3 goddesses descend to the mortal plane and just confront this random guy that Zeus threw under the bus because he didn't want to deal with that mess. Hera, okay, it's Hera. And they're just like talking to him. He's like, oh, I don't want to choose one of you. And they're like, relax. Like, okay, promise not to get mad if I choose one of you. And they're like, we promise we're not gonna get mad. And then he picks, I don't actually remember who he picked. I think it was maybe Artemis. And then the other 2 were like, all right, it's time to genocide his people. It's time to genocide his people. And then that's how the War of Troy happened, and they all died terribly. Are you guys enjoying the mythology? Is this fun? Hera, Aphrodite, and... Alright, Aphrodite! It's not Artemis! I'm stupid! Alright. Now that makes sense with Aphrodite. Chat, don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of me. Wait, do I have a mythology book? Do I still have the sacred text? I don't think it's here, I think. I brought the actual book back from college that has all the original texts that have been restored throughout the ages. This is some high-level stuff. Because the problem with the mythology is that, like, if I tell a story, someone's going to be like, that's not how it went, Technoblade, and then they're going to give, like, one of the other 10 versions of the story. Because it's been 3,000 years. It's oral storytelling. They came up with, like, 50 different versions, okay? Okay, I'll admit the Artemis part was simply incorrect, but sometimes I'll say something that I'm sure I'm reading it directly from the source. Like, I have a translated ancient Greek text. Would it be ancient Greek or would it be Roman? And they like translated it with that. Look, I don't care. I'll have like a primary source, and I'll have some guy in the comment section like, "Oh, Technoblade, you're wrong. You're wrong, Technoblade." I'm like, I'm not. I have the source right here. What's your source? Wikipedia? Mary, thank you for 50. More mythology time with Techno. Oh, I actually have a story. I remembered. The people, there were a few comments where people were sitting here like, oh, actually, Technoblade, Theseus wasn't a hero. He was a terrible person, Technoblade. And I'm sitting like, oh my god, shut up, you nerds. You nerds, no one cares. He's still the founding hero of Athens. I don't care if he was a douchebag, alright? He's still a Greek hero. What do you mean? Besides, literally, which mythological figures look like saints by modern standards? They're all terrible people. Come on. Come on, so many of them are just the worst. They're just the worst. Oh, well, the Theseus story actually does work. I mean, obviously, there's slightly more details than I could fit. I mean, there's actually an astounding amount of parallels between Tommy in it and Theseus, if you think about it, alright? Because, like, they both had, like, their little city-state they wanted to save. Alright, they're both the heroes of their own story. They both a lot of sacrifice, and let me tell you something. They both ruled for a bit. They both got kicked out by their own people. And let me tell you something. Theseus and Tommy, those guys would not be caught dead respecting women. Let me tell you, Theseus' whole plotline is just ditched a woman, feeling good. You can call them a lot of things, but you cannot call them simps. Let me tell you that. Theseus was no simp. Listen, you laugh, but the parallels are astounding. Because, like most of the Greek heroes, like, just died tragically. That was my point about nothing good happening to heroes. They all just die. They all just die miserably. I think Heracles was, like, had like, one of the best ends, and he died on a fire. He died in a fire. Theoretically, he ascended to the divine plane or something. But he died in a fire. That's the main detail here. I guess he got to be, like, a god afterwards, but still died in a fire. Kinda sucks. Kinda sucks. I think he was poisoned by something. I don't know. I'm not clear. It's been a while. It's been a while, chat. Centaur blood? Yeah, the centaur blood. You're forgetting about Perseus? Oh god, what did Perseus do again? Perseus. I know that guy. Yep. Perseus. Now there was the... Perseus. I know who that is. Yep. Yep, that name sounds familiar. Alongside Cadmus. Oh, of course I know Cadmus. Oh, everyone knows Cadmus. He founded Thebes. Perseus. Yes. He headed the Medusa. I remember this all. Yep. He was the king of Mycenae. Yep. I know that place. Yeah, I knew about this. I knew all of this. Yep. And he was married to Andromeda. Yep. Who could forget about... Yeah, I know who Andromeda is. Yeah. Yeah. He was the son of the... He was the grandson of the king of Argos. Yep. Yep, chat. I have literally no idea who Perseus is. I've definitely heard his name, but I don't remember. I don't know anything about him. I don't know anything about him. You guys are all Percy Jackson nerds, alright? Don't bring that up around me, alright? No. Nothing fills me with fury than when you reference Greek mythology and people are like, oh, Zeus? Oh, I know him. He's the guy from Percy Jackson. And it's like, I will punch you in the face. I will punch you in the face right here. Don't say that. Imagine thousands of years of mythology getting, like, passed down through oral storytelling since before writing was invented. And then people know it from Percy Jackson. Imagine. Listen, fun fact, Technoblade is actually 25% Greek. And I never knew my grandmother on the Greek side. So I could be a Greek, like... I could be like a Greek semi-demigod, alright? Those guys still get clout, right? Right? Semi-demigods? Yeah, everyone talks about the semi-demigods. Oh, everyone loves those guys. Yeah, we get powers. Powers, yum. Alright. Yeah, semi-demigod pug! Let me look this up. What do you call someone who is 1/4 Greek god? These results are absolutely not correct. This is absolutely not. Okay, let me replace 1/4 with 1/4. A quarter god is a person. Oh, I'm a quarter god? Quarter god pog? Alright. Wait, no, this is from some fandom website. This isn't legit. This isn't legit. No! Alright, well, Quora.com. Now that's where I go for my information. Okay, these guys are a bunch of nerds. I'm not reading this. Alright. Alright, we're going with semi-god, or semi, whatever. I don't care. Quarter god, let's go! Let's go, Pog! Alright, it's silent, thank you for the 20. While the offspring of a god and immortal is called demigod or half-blood, the grandchild of a demigod is called a legacy. Is this real, or is this Percy Jackson? Because if it's the former, don't speak to me. Perseus did many things, such as killing Medusa and saving Andromeda. But he is most notably remembered as the only Greek hero to not die a horrible death. Andromeda's the god of speed bridging, right? Is that what she's known for? I think that's what she's known for. Sapphire, bro, thank you for the 20. When this is all said and done, I can see you being a high school teacher. Either the guy teaching world history or mythology. You'd be everyone's favorite. Oh, incredible. I actually did have a English teacher that would he'd just always get sidetracked. I don't think I learned any English, but I learned a lot about Diana Ross, so, you know, that's what high school is all about. Would Oedipus be considered a Greek hero? Maybe? I mean, he's a tragic hero, isn't he? Yeah, he's a tragic hero. That counts. That counts. I'm not Googling this right now. I'm not Googling this. Athenian tragedy, blah, 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 blah. King of Thebes. Oh, Thebes again. Yeah, that city that Cadmus founded. Thebes, Pog. Yeah, I'm not gonna read any more of this. Chat, you don't need to tell me about what Oedipus did. Everyone knows. You do not need to explain. I'm an English major, chat. I was an English major. And I also took psychology classes. There's like a whole thing named after him. Alright. Blair, thank you for the 20. I can't believe Aries Tig from The Lightning Thief became a streamer. Oh, you know it. Nice. Behold nonsense, thank you for the 20. It's unapologetic mythology nerd time. The reason all these heroes died tragically is because they let their victories go to their heads, so hubris is the real culprit. But we wouldn't know anything about that, Mr. Blood God. Look, listen here. Of course I don't suffer from hubris, because hubris is a flaw and I am perfect. Therefore, I don't have hubris. That would be an imperfection, and we all know I'm perfect. See? It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. It's a basic deduction. Exit 20. Imagine Gilgamesh reacting to the fact that he is 2/3 god, 1/3 man for the first time. Those fractions got crazy. You know, I was thinking about it, and Heracles, he wasn't really a demigod. He was like 6% god or something. Because he was related to Zeus like 3 times. He was like a triple Zeus. But I don't think the Greeks really understood how, like, genetics work. So they probably thought he was like 150% Zeus, because he was related to him in 3 different ways. And that's why he was so awesome. Then help, thank you for the 20. Bro, I walked into the stream just to hear Techno diss Percy Jackson. Listen, Percy Jackson is great and all, but the fact that it's the only reason people know Greek mythology is terrible, alright? It ruins me. It ruins me. Demigod Pog! Alright. How should I fill the time? More Greek mythology? You guys want to hear more Greek mythology? So you guys know, like, Jason from the Argonauts, right? Like, he got the golden fleece and all that, which was important for reasons I have forgotten and frankly do not care about. You guys want to hear about Jason? So Jason, he had to get this golden fleece for reasons which were probably important, but I don't care about them. Wait, no, I think he got, like, kicked out because his dad was like, there was like some prophecy. His dad was like, I don't know. I need this. Something about like having like one sandal or something. He's like, oh god, this guy Jason's gonna overthrow me. I should send him on an impossible quest to retrieve this golden fleece. Good luck achieving that. And so anyways, he goes and gets like all the Greek. They do like a whole crossover episode, like all the Greek demigods and heroes show up, and they're all getting this golden fleece. And anyways, they do all of that. And while he's there, it's whatever the island is called. I don't remember what the island is called. And Jason meets this girl, and she's like the daughter of the king of wherever they are. And they get the golden fleece, and now they're fleeing. The Argonauts are all out of there. And he's fleeing with Medea, who is the daughter of the king of wherever. And but the problem is the king was catching up to them. All right, they were all in boats. There was like this whole fleet going after them. And Medea, Jason's new girlfriend, is like, "Don't worry, guys, I got this." Because she kidnapped, I think, her brother. I think she had her brother with her. So what she did was she chopped her brother into 1,000 tiny pieces and then cast them into the ocean. And the thing about Greek mythology is that you have to bury all of the body to go to the afterlife. So now that the king had to stop his fleet, and pick up thousands of pieces of his son, and that's how they got away. That is how Medea helped the Argonauts escape. Is the single most brutal killing of her brother that I've ever heard of. And you know what Jason did? You know what Jason did later in his life? He was like, I should cheat on Medea. I should cheat on her. That is a good idea. I think this is a good idea for my long-term prosperity, is to cheat on the woman that did this. I can foresee no consequences happening from this. Anyways, it did not work out. It did not work out, chat. It did not work out for Jason. That was not a good long-term decision. I have to say. Do not know what that guy was thinking. I mean, at that point, he deserves what happens to him. I mean, how could you not see that coming? I think she killed like all his children or something. I don't know. Maybe she baked them into a pie. Maybe that was someone else. I don't know. I do not think anyone survived that. That was just not a good idea. That was just not a good idea. I have to say. Spoiler alert. Oh, I'm sorry. You were trying to read that story from like 3,000 years ago, and now I've spoiled it. All right. So yeah, some important lessons on human nature to learn from that story. There's gonna be people. I'm gonna miss some small detail, but that's the gist of it. That's the gist of it. Oh right, there was this one guy. In the Trojan War. Oh, I'm not gonna pronounce his name right. No, he was part of the. No, it's not Odysseus. It is not Odysseus. Everyone knows who Odysseus is. All right. No, this is a really obscure character. He literally did like one thing, but it was really funny. So, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna use my computer. It's not Apollo. It's an obscure guy. All right. So the famous archer? Well, not really famous, but he had a famous bow. All right. His name was like Philoctetes or something. I don't know. That's what it's spelled, right? Yeah, I spelled it right. I don't know how to pronounce that, all right? But there was this guy. We'll call him Phil. Let's call him Phil, all right? Just ignore that Phil is here, all right? And he was big because he had Hercules' bow, and obviously Hercules, pretty big deal. So having his bow and arrow, I think what was the story behind the bow? So Heracles he burned himself in like a pier or something when he was poisoned, so he was sent to the god realm and died on his own terms. Yeah. And he gave his bow to like the one guy there that was willing to set the fire, because everyone was like, oh no, we can't burn you up, we respect you too much. And so I think he gave the guy the bow, and then he gave it to his son, Philoctetes or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. So anyways, so the Trojan War is happening, and they're getting all the Greek heroes together so they can Trojan War pog and just ruin Paris's life. This is all from that story earlier that I told last stream, where the gods got butthurt that Paris said Aphrodite was the prettiest, and so they were like, all right, time to destroy Troy or whatever. I don't know. Actually, I think it's because they stole like the wife of the king of the Spartans or something, and that was like Helen. I don't know, and they just hope they'd be chill. I'm not clear on the details, but this Phil guy, he had the bow of Hercules, is what he was called in Greek times. Hercules is the wrong version. And so obviously he had to come along for the ride. And then they got to like some island. And I think the gods were butthurt, because the gods are always butthurt or something. So they send down these snakes. And these snakes, they bite Phil in the foot. Alright, they bite Phil in the foot. But he doesn't die. And they kill the snakes, or I don't know what happens to the snakes. They're not yet, they haven't gone to Troy yet. And they're like, alright. And the guy's like, alright, we can still go, because, I'm just bitten in the foot. It's fine, I'll get better. And the guy's like, I don't know, man, that foot wound, it smells kind of bad. I'm not going to lie to you. He's like, guys, are you serious? Like, could you please stay behind? We really just don't want to smell this for the rest of the war. We're just going to leave you here on this empty I don't know if they have it, but we're just going to leave you on this island. All right, and do the whole war without you. And he's like, are you kidding me? I have the magic bow of Heracles. I have the most like important bow. Are you kidding me? And they're like, yeah, we're dead. And then they left him behind on that island. They left him behind on the island. I think it was for 10 years. They left him on the island with the god bow. They didn't even take the god bow. They just let him keep it. and they went and did the war without him. And so, like, 10 years later, it's been 10 years, they can't invade Troy, it's not working out, and they kidnap some prophet or something, I'm not clear on the details, and the prophet tells them, alright guys, the only way that Troy will fall is if you guys have the magic bow of Heracles. The magic bow of Heracles is the key, and they have to awkwardly sail back and get to this guy they ditched on an island for 10 years because his foot smelled bad, and that's how they won the war. They got the bow. That's just so awkward. Just imagine sitting like, all right, which one of you brought the magic bow of Heracles? Sir, we left him on an island for 10 years. Why would do that? Well, his foot smelled bad, sir. His foot, you gotta understand, sir. It smelled really bad. It smelled really bad. And that's how it all happened. Telemachus? I do not remember anything about Telemachus. I'm sure in some versions it's his dad they left behind. I don't know. Paris picked Aphrodite, and in thanks that he picked her, she gifted him the guy's wife as a gift. Oh, I remember this actually. I remember Athena and Hera promised him stuff that is just objectively way better than a girlfriend. All right. Just straight up way more worth it. It was like eternal like riches or like something. And he's like, no, Paris literally went, I choose that guy's wife. He was offered so many things, like, nope, don't want it. I want that guy's wife. Paris was such a simp. So many people died because Paris was a simp. Oh my god. Daniel, thank you for 25. Well, Achilles, by far the best, but worst hero ever. Oh, yeah. Didn't he have, like, that friend that died terribly? I forget if that was worth turning into a meme or not. Oh, and he had the whole rivalry with Hector. I think it was, like, brothers with Paris or something. Who cares? Who cares? Let's get our stuff. You should tell us all about Oedipus. No. Why would you do that? Harry, thank you for the 20. Can you tell us the story of Orion? No, I do not remember that guy. I know he's a hero in I think he's in the Justice League, but I don't think that's what you mean. Nikki, thank you for the donation. Hi, Techno. I actually really like the less well-known stories about Greek mythology and how they connect to it all, such as the story of Europa and her being the mother of 2 out of 3 judges of the dead. How about Odysseus? Oh, Odysseus did a lot of cool stuff. Most of it I've forgotten. Or like I sort of half remember, but not enough to retell it. So I'd have to look up a Google document that I actually have. Okay, this story is actually good, but I've forgotten the most crucial context detail. Okay, everyone knows the story of the Trojan horse. That is just not necessary to tell. That is just not. Okay, you know, we'll save it for later. We'll save it for later. It's the story about how like a particular hero was born, but I didn't write down the name of that hero. I just wrote down the story. I only have so many mythology memes, by the way. If you guys think this is going to become like a recurring thing, although I guess people could like submit their favorite myths. I think most of the fun of it is coming up with the funniest way to tell it. Okay, I'm 90% sure it was Achilles. Alright, Achilles. I think that sounds... Alright. Ah, yes, it was Achilles. I'm smart. Alright. So this is, I'm not sure where this ranks canonically. There's some conflict. Who was this? There was like this one guy... Yeah, Lucian, yeah, it was Lucian. I think Lucian wrote this one. Lucian was this, it started with an L. I'm sure it started with an L. Lucian was this guy. He like rewrote like behind the scenes of famous Greek myths. He was like this Roman writer. And he was like the me of Roman times. He'd like parody myths. And he wrote, so I'm not sure how this ranks canonically, but you know, it's like a 2,000-year-old story, so now it's now it's the myth, okay? So basically, Zeus was simping. He was sitting here chasing down some woman to hold hands with, as Zeus does. You know how Zeus is. And he just strolls on by Prometheus, who's I don't know what do they do to Prometheus? They had him like chained somewhere because he gave them fire or something. Right? He's trapped somewhere, and Prometheus he's making fun of Prometheus, and Prometheus is like, oh, you don't want to hold hands with that woman, Zeus. You do not want to hold hands with that woman. And he's telling Prometheus, there is literally nothing you could tell me that could possibly make me not hold hands with this woman? And Prometheus like, I don't know. You're talking to like the guy that does the prophecies. The guy that does the prophecies. Zeus like, okay, fine. Okay, fine. What prophecy could possibly make me not hold hands with this woman? And he says, okay, well, the firstborn son of this woman will surpass its father. Alright, I'm not going to hold hands with this woman. In fact, I'm going to marry her off to some random guy in the phone book. Who did he get married off to? I'm going to marry him off to Peleus. I'm going to marry him off to Peleus. Yes, this random guy. Like 90%. All the Greek gods were like obsessed with not getting surpassed. All of them just did not want to get surpassed by their offspring. That's like all they did. I don't know what it was about Greeks in the ancient times and not wanting their sons to surpass them, but that's like all they worried about. They killed so many people for it. Although I have to say, it was kind of bizarre, because he's in here like, oh, I have to find like the most irrelevant, random mortal to hold hands with this woman and bear a child. And then he picked like a king. It was like a king. They just do not care about the mortals. And then that person, the prophecy, that was Achilles, and he helped a little bit with the whole Trojan War thing. He helped a little bit, just a tad. I'm not sure how that ranks in the canon, because I don't think Prometheus was supposed to be there at the time, but it's fine. It's fine. There is a primary source for it. There is a primary source.